Welcome back to What's New in the Lou with Alexis Zotos, presented by Kaldi's Coffee. This is your can't miss weekly podcast where we help you stay in the know in St. Louis. So that means those must visit events, the brand new restaurants opening up around town, but most importantly, the people that make St. Louis the best place to live and work. Now, stick around for the end of each episode because we do give you a calendar of all the fun things happening this week in St. Louis. And there is never a shortage of fun things going on in St. Louis. And one of the people that is not only highlighting those events, but creating those events is Braden. Braden, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me. Like, this is an awesome setup.
Well, thank you. We love it. We love having people on like you that are similar to us and that we're cheerleaders of St. Louis. Mm-hmm. How long have you been creating content that lifts up St. Louis?
Oh, I was just thinking about that on the way here. So literally by the time this episode drops, it will be almost 6 years exactly.
That's wild.
So it was, I was going to launch on 314 Day in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
The world was backwards at that time.
Yeah.
So I launched on 413, April 13th.
Okay.
So by time.
Literally, I think that's the day this episode dropped.
Yeah.
So, wow. Okay. So exactly.
6 years,
yeah. And when you think about that, what made you like create a drop date? Like it was just sort of like, I want to do this. What made you hit post on that first post?
Yeah. So for me, it was like I never saw my version of St. Louis being shared. And what put it in perspective for me one day was like I was sitting behind home plate, like watching Yachty and Wayno, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day I went to a baseball game with a different family member, and I was literally in the last row of the stadium. And I started to think, and I was like, wait, I know what it's like to go down, below, up, high. I know what it's like to go north, south, east, west, the city, the county, whatever. And I know what it's like to go to a concert and you spend a lot of money and you're in the first few rows, and sometimes you're in the last row, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just like I never saw that perspective being shared. It was always like at that time it was just photos.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the media space and we know how it works where, you know, one restaurant is like highlighted on every platform at once. But it was like, for me, I was like, man, what about this other spot?
Mm-hmm.
Like I have all these great memories at these places. And so my buddy's dad convinced me to start Braden STL. He's like, hey man, you should create a blog. I said, I'm a visual person. Like I was working on my MBA and all that. So I was reading and I was still in corporate. I was like, I want photos. I want videos. He's like, oh, you should create it. And so we were watching the first ever Battlehawks game. And I was like, all right.
Just right before the world shut down.
Exactly. So like 2 weeks, but like leading up to that, I had all these cool things lined up. I think it was March Madness was supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Which was just here, but I was out of town. I was supposed to go on the ice after a Blues game. And I just did that recently with a partnership.
Nice.
But yeah, it's just like crazy. Like I just got started just to showcase just my version of St. Louis.
How has that changed your life in the last 6 years?
So I left my corporate job on 314 Day in 2024.
Nice.
And yeah, it's just changed my perspective. I see so much opportunity. I think if you're not into like the know of what's going on in St. Louis, it's so easy to just gravitate towards the negative.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always been someone when people are just talking bad about the city, I'm just like, you were just at Forest Park last week. You were just at this game. But for me, I would say like leaving my corporate job, you know, I was in corporate for 10 years. I used to work everything from like catastrophes. So like kind of like what we saw with the tornado last year. I used to go to other cities and write checks as a catastrophe adjuster. And I used to work those like 80-hour weeks, 5 days off, 80 hours, 3 weeks at a time. So I was so used to working. And then I became a recruiter. And I got to a point in corporate, I was just like, what am I doing? And so I was working on my MBA during COVID. And at that point, I was like, I could continue to be in corporate. And I just knew where my life was going to be in 30 years. I knew how much I was going to make when I retire, or I could take this risk. But I'm married, so I had to make sure it was a calculated
all worked out,
risk. But it's,
What would you say has been the biggest, I don't ever want to say like the coolest, because you do a lot of cool things, and cool is respect, you know, is whatever the word is I'm looking for.
No,
but what would you say is one of the moments that really stands out to you as a creator that you've gotten the opportunity to do?
Oh my goodness. I think if I were to think about the most inspiring
Mhm.
moment, it didn't come with being a creator.
Mhm.
I ran into Ryan Coogler randomly at a Disneyland buffet. And this
Okay.
is like Wakanda Forever just came out. And he's like literally sitting like 6 feet from us. But like I never bother people,
Sure.
when they're with their families. And my wife's like, I think that's him. And I was like, no way. But then we saw the Chadwick Boseman
Uh-huh.
necklace. And they left. And I was like, oh, that would have been cool to meet him. But he came back in to go get some ice cream. And I told my wife, I was like, I'll be back. And just being able to like talk to him, like literally had the number one movie in the world.
Mhm.
And even before I started Braden STL, I used to, if you think about Halloween, like the kids will fit into the costume one year, they're not wearing it next year. So
Mhm.
what happens with a lot of that? A lot of times it goes in trash. Sometimes it gets donated. Well, I had a few schools, which I need to bring this back, but I had a few schools like kind of have a locker.
Mhm.
And then also I would buy like discounted, the day after Halloween, I would
Yeah.
get like literally the Black Panther costumes and things like that. And we would donate it for the next year.
Mhm.
So like being able to meet someone like him that was so humble and just took the time, and I forgot to, give him a card or connect or something. But then like it was just so cool because like sometimes in different realms we're around people with egos.
Mhm.
But imagine having like and I mean he just won so many awards with centers, but imagine being around someone with that much success and they're just so humble.
Mhm.
And yeah, so but like that was like one of the most amazing moments. And then I've just been so fortunate to meet so many people that I just never thought what was possible. Like,
Yeah.
you're in that same boat now
Yeah,
too.
no,
It's
it's a
crazy.
wild experience, and it does it and it makes you wanna be you meet somebody and they're humble, and it's like,
Yeah.
if they're that way, then everybody should be that way. You have gone though from creating content to now creating the events
Mhm.
that the content is about. You started with a food festival last year. What made you move in that direction of creating an actual event versus just covering the events?
I would say for me, it was I would go to other cities, or my wife and I will go to a Disneyland or a Disney World, and you can immerse yourself into what they have, and it's every single detail. And then I would come back here, and I enjoy the events that are here, but I always felt like maybe sometimes we could do a little bit more. And I'm on the side of planning, so I know how things work and how much things cost. I have an operations guy, one of my best friends. He's like, Brad, no, we can't do it this time. But for me,
He
it was
reined you in.
yeah, he brings it in. Trust me, I was trying to get like a 10-foot chocolate fountain, but that's gonna come. But for me, it was like it started out with like the pop up bars,
Mhm.
and I
Yeah, for people who don't know, you created several of the holiday winter pop-up
Mhm.
bars. For how many years now have you done that?
This will be the fourth year.
Okay.
So the first one was Avalanche,
Mhm.
which at that time I was like, we don't have a ski lodge theme bar. I was like, because I always think of how can I bring everyone in.
Mhm.
Now, I do have like Christmas pop ups. Maybe there's a Hanukkah pop up in the works. I don't know, but
There was
like,
one at Ballpark Village that they did,
oh yeah,
like a limited run. But there was one, but
it,
there could always be more.
that one could be expanded,
Yeah.
maybe in the works. I don't know. But yeah, like so it's like we were doing that or I was doing that to help bring people together, but
Mhm.
also it's a tough time for restaurants,
Mhm.
and I know what it takes to get people in. Like I go all in on a theme, avalanche, ornament, wrapped. So what do we have with ornament? We have thousands. I literally have thousands of ornaments in a shed right now.
I was gonna say,
Uh,
where do you store all that stuff?
I finally got to a point. Yeah, I literally have like a big U-Haul storage shed wrapped, right? So it was all wrapped
Mhm.
gifts. But it's really like to help those businesses like get people in the door. And then with the festival, like I go to all the festivals here. I've been part of different teams where we launched one festival, it had 15,000 people
Mhm.
the one year, and then even being part of like the largest festival in town. And for me, I go to other cities and I get to experience, like the Miami South or
Mhm.
the South Beach Wine and Food Festival and seeing how they do things. And then I go to New York and I see how they're doing the festivals up there. And I think to myself, like, wait, I'm connected to everybody in St. Louis to be able to do this, but also for like an affordable way.
Mhm.
Because like one thing with St. Louis is they like us St. Louisans, we will show up. A lot of times, it could be last minute, like with
Get
ticket
those
sales.
tickets earlier.
Yes. Like literally I'm incentivizing. Like we have 4-pack tickets. Like tickets this year are less. But like for me, it's, I got to see how they do it in the other markets,
Mhm.
right? Miami, all you can eat. drink festival could be $250 to start. And then New York, just for admission, could be $50 to $80. But then you're paying full price for
Mhm.
the dishes. And I'm like, I enjoy going to Epcot in Disney, right? And I'm like, I just want to try the food.
Mhm.
Like I want to be able to try one of your best dishes, your best dishes. I don't want to commit to, spending 18 to $26 for a full entree. Like I actually
Right.
want to try it. And so for me, it was, working with the different food vendors
Mhm.
of like, hey, like let's sell something between $4 to $8.
Mhm. Mhm.
And people, I'm pretty much an open book. So like people are like, well, why do I have to pay to come into a food festival to buy more food?
Mhm.
And the reality is, there's insurance, there's permits.
Yeah.
We're not funded by like this is a fully independent festival, so we don't have any large backer. We don't
Mhm.
have
Mhm.
the sponsors, things like that. Um, but yeah, like I mean, everything from the security,
It costs
the
money to put on events.
yeah, the extra like everybody's paid in like a livable wage. Our DJs are paid appropriately.
Mhm.
Security, off-duty officers. But like once you come into the festival, like when you actually like quantify it, if you go to another festival, let's say you go by 5 booths,
Mhm.
that could be $100.
Mhm.
You pay to get into ours, you stop by 5 booths,
Mhm.
that could be about $70.
Okay.
So, and we also have I have like a lot of cool friends that do great things.
Yeah.
And so like, I mean, we literally have the best steak that you can get here in the state of Missouri. I mean, they fly like Australian Wagyu, Japanese Wagyu. Like we're literally giving out 100, like I don't know, probably like $1,500 worth of product,
Mhm.
like at the least giving out like steak skewers. So I'm so focused on creating this like the ultimate foodie experience. Like I don't want to be known as the top food festival. It's the top foodie festival. It's like
Mhm.
for foodies by foodies. If you love good food, if you love a good vibe, like this is your festival.
So last year was your first one.
Mhm.
You opened those doors day one. What was that emotion like? What was it like for you to see people walk into the doors of the first ever Foodies Eat First festival?
Oh my gosh, it was like, oh, this is happening. And I think what helped was the night before was I had a YouTube creators
Mhm.
event, which itself was like crazy, like working with YouTube, the team there to like have something for the YouTubers that are out there. So that kind of helped me. And then just starting to see all the people come in, I'm like, all right, what needs to be done? Okay, we got to do this, we got to do that. And to be real, like that very first festival, I was doing a lot. I didn't know how to like, delegate things
Mhm.
to a team. I was just doing almost everything. And then like now going into this year, I have a
Different.
team.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, incredible people. But yeah, it was just so cool to see people come in. And like, I'm not gonna lie, like everyone that's listening that hosts events, they know like with St. Louis, like how tough it is. Like when you're looking at your numbers of how many tickets you sold
Mhm.
on a Monday, and then you're looking literally the morning of the festival and you're selling hundreds and hundreds of tickets, it is very stressful. But just seeing everybody come in and have a good time, like it's just so cool. It's motivating, it's inspiring. And when the festival was done, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do several more. And so then I planned one for May and planned one for August. So by the time it's all said and done, 3 large scale food festivals in a year.
USA Today readers have named Kaldi's Coffee the best coffee chain for the second year in a row. Since 1994, Kaldi's Coffee has built its reputation on thoughtful sourcing, careful roasting, and warm, consistent service that shows up in every cup. It's an honor earned through daily dedication to quality. Explore Kaldi's best blends and find your cafe at kaldiscoffee.com. Yeah, so this year you've got your first one happening May
Mhm.
2nd and 3rd at
Yes.
the Trust Building in downtown.
Yeah.
What and then you've got a second one coming in
Mhm.
August. Let's talk about the May one first, because that's the one right now
Yeah.
that is right around the corner that people can get those tickets for. What can people expect day 1 and day 2 at that festival?
Yeah, so what we wanted to do with the main portion of the festival was keep it consistent on what the food offerings were. Last year, I think we kind of confused people when we did brunch, dinner,
Mhm.
late night, this and that. If you come to the main portion of Foodies Eat First Fest on Saturday, whether it's daytime or afternoon session, Sunday, daytime or afternoon, the
Mhm.
menu is going to be the exact same.
Mhm.
What also is great about the festival is it's about 80% inside. So if it's pouring down rain, that could ruin your weekend. No, no, no worries. Like you can come inside. We got you covered. If it's 100 degrees, you can come inside. Cause like
Mhm.
when I'm hot and I'm sticky, I don't want to
You
eat.
don't want to eat food.
So I make sure, like, literally when I say for foodies, by foodies, that's
You're coming from that foodie perspective of like what you want to see at a festival, and you've created it.
Well, exactly. It's like literally like my dream lineup too. Like I'm bringing Chef Juwan Rice back from Atlanta to St. Louis. For those who don't know, he was Missouri Chef of the Year.
Yeah.
He's 24.
Incredible guy.
Yeah. Like he's coming back in for it. We have Chef Brandy. She's coming back. But then we also have like Good Company. We have this year we're going to have dirty sodas with crispy sips. I'm super excited for that.
You know, I've never had one.
I haven't either. I'm going to like.
I am kind of weirded out by the idea of cream in a soda. Obviously, the rest of the world is very down with this.
Yeah.
I haven't had one yet.
But see, I thought about that. But like, think about our coffees.
Yeah.
Think about like, we're the generation of like, that grew up on like Four Locos and stuff.
Yeah.
So like.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. So I thought about it and I saw how they pour this stuff. I was like, I'll give it a shot.
People love it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously like taking over.
Yeah.
Okay. So what other kind of great gets do you guys have this year?
I mean, Nikki Slices. People forget like he has beat Bobby Flay. So
what?
Yeah, people don't know. He beat Bobby Flay. He's super humble.
Stop. I love him.
It's
and he has, I literally was just looking at his specials this week. He has like a chicken Caesar salad on a pizza. I love a salad on a pizza.
Good Company.
He's amazing. Good Company is so cool.
Yep.
They've got so many cool concepts happening in St. Louis.
They'll have the Chico Bueno. That's their new concept. We have Puddin'. They have like really good cheesecakes. Pass the Pass. They had caffeinated popsicles.
Oh, fun.
And oh my goodness, I'm forgetting a few. Fufu and sauce, super good. African food. Oh my goodness, I feel so bad for.
But here's the thing, like that's the nice thing. We've got so many cool. How do you even narrow it down on who to invite to a food festival, or are people applying to come? How does that work?
We will open up the application process for the next one. But really it's just me like looking at like, I want a wide variety of places. And so I've been very intentional about with who I picked. And it's not like literally, how do I explain it? Like, I know that like a lot of festivals, it's like application process, things like that. For me, it was like, I literally have places that are coming in August that I had something. I was like, hey, what are you doing on this date? Like, you should really be in my festival. And they'll be like, yeah. Cause like we have this mutual respect and looking out, but what goes into it is just taking a bite of something. And if I'm mesmerized, if I'm like, this is so good, then that's how you get in. Like, I don't know. I know that kind of sounds bad, but
well, no, not at all. I mean, that's the thing. And, I do think you have to like, when you're planning a festival, I imagine you've got to really think about all the different guests, is there a variety of food? Is there, options for X, Y, and Z? There's a lot the planning is got to be a year round situation.
Well, like, with what we do, we're always connecting with people. We're always trying new dishes. We're eating. I mean, but like the folks in the hospitality industry, they've just been so flexible. Last year, we couldn't have any open flames and they were able to figure it out. This is a celebration.
Is there open flame this year?
Yeah, we're going to have flames outside. Like we've expanded the blueprint. This is bigger than last year.
Okay. So if you came last year, this is not the same.
Correct. Cause and there are things that we learned. I literally had an hour and a half conversation with someone that went, that had like great feedback. But like, like everything that came up last year, we've addressed. So like last year, our VIP, we had a lot of oysters, a lot of steak, but then it kind of got weird. We had like some ticketing system this year. When you pay for VIP, it's like literally you can try every single booth. It's not a specific item. You can go to Nikki Slices, grab a slice. You can go over to STL Toasted, grab some T-Wrap. So it's literally all you can eat, all you can drink. It's very affordable. And when I say drink, these are like from Trust, great cocktails.
Yeah.
So,
and then you're already planning ahead for your August one.
Yes.
So 2 festivals within a short time span. Are you crazy?
There could be a third one in there.
What?
A different theme. We'll see. We're finalizing something maybe for, we may or may not be finalizing some for a Halloween. I hope I'm not speaking too soon, but Halloween's on a Saturday.
You know what? Who just said it? Miley Cyrus said You have to like speak something into existence. Like the idea that like even if it doesn't exist, if you put it out there in the world, then it's almost forced to
Oh
happen.
yeah, yeah.
So there you go. It's happening.
Oh, and the restaurant week too.
Yes, and you have a restaurant week
Yes.
that's happening. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, so the restaurant week will be September 1st through 13th. It's traditionally a slower time for restaurants with students going back to school. Labor Day weekends are usually a drop off. What we're going to do is our goal is to have at least 100 restaurants involved
Wow.
this year in some capacity, whether it's, hey, go to, these 5 restaurants, brick and mortar, or we may be working with other creators on micro fests.
Mhm.
And what I mean by that is could be 200, 500 people at these different events around town. So that one is going to end up growing into its own. With the August festival, I'm fully convinced that could be one of the greatest foodie festivals the city has seen in a while. I'm also convinced with May, but I'm saying for August is even bigger. We're looking to lock down one of the best venues in town. Once again, August could be hot. You need some AC.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have the open flame. But yeah, I'm convinced that one could be.
I mean, I remember a food festival once that I won't say where or when it was. But it was outside on a blacktop eating hot food. And it was one of the most miserable experiences. It's delicious food. I mean, I can still remember something that they ate there that was so yummy. But it was a toasty experience. Like it was really warm. And St. Louis summer is no joke.
I can't control the weather. I can control the thermostat. But it's like, I think this year, what really pushed me to like do so many different events is we've seen so many, we've seen festivals pull back this year. We've seen entities that have supported big events in St. Louis. They're canceling their events for the year. So, I mean, I can think of like 4 large scale events that I've been to just last year that are not happening this year. And I think times like this, I understand it's tough very financially for everyone. And we're just making this happen with the festival. It all comes down to people coming and supporting it, but we have to continue to move forward. We can't be afraid of what's ahead or what's happening right now. We have to continue to move forward because we're going to overcome this. And I mean, who knows? Maybe I'm not going to speak this into existence, but maybe monthly food festivals, right? With Foodies Eat First. And I say that like I support all the other food festivals.
Sure.
But like I love creating this foodie experience because, we were able to bring in places from, we brought Cat's Deli to St. Louis for the first time ever. And they love St. Louis. So you never know when they'll be back.
When you talk about, I mean, that is a scary aspect of event planning and hospitality in general. When we think about large scale festivals that are just saying, hey, we can't do it this year. Why do you think it's so important for festivals that can to continue being a part of the St. Louis community? Like, how vital are our festivals to our economy, our community, just making St. Louis a better place in general?
Right now, it's just getting people together in that kind of realm, bringing thousands of people for something that's like strictly St. Louis. Because like we know we can have a big concert come in, but this, with the food scene, excuse me, with the food scene, it's just, those restaurants don't know if they're going to have 2 people or a bus, several buses. They could have 200 people show up, but they're still there waiting on us to be there. And, with what we do on this food festival, we're able to bring all these people to them and try their food for the first time. And I tell them specifically, them coming to the festival is great, but figure out a way to get them to your restaurant next. I also like what I try to focus on is, hey, here's the list of 20 restaurants to try this year. Like, here you go, visit these places. But it's very important to continue to show up, like, because they're there for us. They're what make our city special. I also believe that like in St. Louis, a lot of times, like we could put 4 foodies here, right? Me, you, and 2 others. And we can keep talking about how great our food scene is. We can keep sharing it on our social media, which is important. And we got to keep doing that. But like for me, I got to get people outside of here to talk about it. I got to get people here. And so that's where my brain was.
Outside of St. Louis.
Outside of here. Yeah. So that's where, I partnered with YouTube, and we had between YouTube and just the overall festival, we had people from over 25 different cities come here. So we're
for
driving
last year's festival.
over 130 hotel rooms.
Wow.
That we're filling. But also we're bridging the gap of America's most iconic deli Katz's, bringing them here. So some people be like, oh, why would you ever bring them? We have X, Y, and Z. And it's like, there's the other side of it where people are like, I haven't had this in 30 years.
Yeah.
They could say like, my wife and I ate there when we were in our 20s. And like, I don't know. We got to continue to invest in our city, our people, the mom and pops. They have lived 10 different lives in the last like 6 years.
Yeah.
Today they're living a different life. So we got to keep being there.
So it is interesting because, this is a food festival based in St. Louis, predominantly St. Louis restaurants and chefs. But your goal is to bring people outside of St. Louis to experience our food scene.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because we need that tourism aspect. Like we need people to understand like how great our food scene is.
Exactly. I mean, this is going to be, how do I say, like, this will be one of the pillar. Okay. This will be a pillar event for St. Louis as it grows. And also, don't be surprised if I take St. Louis on the road with me to other markets.
More speaking it into existence.
Yes.
I like it.
There could be some things in the works, but yeah. And also sometimes too, it helps with St. Louis. Like if we get that outside validation, like one, we know how great this food festival is going to be, but also I know we all like to vacation. So what if we vacation to another city and we had this in a few other markets, with St. Louis being the flagship?
I like it. In addition to highlighting our food scene, you do a really great job of just highlighting the St. Louis art scene in general. You have a wonderful partnership with the Fox. You're always sharing really cool behind the scenes stuff. You work with the zoo a lot. What has been one of your most exciting partnerships in terms of highlighting outside of the food world, things happening in St. Louis?
Oh my gosh, those are like the two. Plus, I would say before I go over those two, I mean, with Busch Stadium, being able to highlight the food in the stadium. So that concept, I pitched to a few other spots in town, and I thought it'd be picked up, and it wasn't. But whenever I went to Busch Stadium, I was like, there's no way with the Cardinals, like this is not. And they said, yeah. And so I was the first one in professional sports. I'm a foodie, not an athlete, but to highlight food in the stadium. And I told them, I was like, hey, you're more than burgers, hot dogs, nachos, fries, whatever, peanuts. You have more. So let's start showing that. And so now that's done at stadiums all over the country and all over the world. So that was really cool being able to do that for several years and still support them and, eating around the stadium. But with the zoo, I grew up watching Kent Earhart, and he would do that thing I think it was like Saturday mornings at the zoo.
Oh, fun.
And just being able to get a behind the scenes and work with them recently to like, feed a sloth or have like poisonous creatures like in my hands. Like that was super cool. I think I may have had the first ever partnership with the city park with Forest Park. That was a great one because naturally I'm there every single Friday.
Yeah.
And so being able to like just be relatable in the sense of like, I go there every week. I go there for all the events and being able to like share my story. And then the Fox, oh my goodness, like the whole Harry Potter like magic trip.
I'm so excited I'm going this weekend.
It is.
Can't wait.
I have to be real. Like I wasn't sure what I would even think about this. I'm like, it starts promptly, right on time. It's a 3-hour show. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to go see it. And I've never, I do get pulled into stories, but the lighting, the transitions, it is an upbeat 3 hours. And I was able to get a behind the scenes look, which never, that never happens.
Yeah.
You can never record that stage or be on that stage. And they showed me like,
the magic.
And I've like recorded. I mean, we're talking 60 frames per second. And I went back and I was watching that in slow-mo and I could not.
Go watch Braden's social media because he's got some really cool behind the scenes. You get a lot of cool access. And, as somebody coming from traditional media, transitioning into new media, it's vital that we continue to tell the stories of our city in a way that captures all generations of how they're consuming media. In the last couple of minutes of this podcast, though, I got to ask, what are a couple of places? Yes, everybody knows the Fox. Everybody knows the zoo. What are a couple of hidden gem spots in St. Louis that you want people to remember to experience? Whether it's food or activities, what are a couple of hidden gems?
Okay, so this one I just experienced. It's in St. Louis once a year, but the world's largest Halloween convention, literally the
Oh,
world's, is
wow.
here in St. Louis. And it is like you pay, I think it's like $120. It's a 4-day pass. It took me 2 days to get through it. I know that's more of a convention, but that thing was like super cool. Like literally what they build, and you
Mhm.
literally get to walk through like its own haunted house with the best of the best, no actors. But then you walk through this Christmas area. Like that was super cool. Like I
That's
said,
awesome.
I've heard about that for many years. It's been on my bucket list, and I finally scratched that off. Um, Kind of going off of that theme, we do have state of the art haunted houses in St. Louis.
Mhm.
Like we have literally one of the top in the world. We have these escape rooms. I think St. Louis Escapes and
Mhm.
that miniature golf, like those escape rooms. I suck at escape rooms. I am terrible, but I love the attention to
What do
detail.
you think about it is hard? Is it the, like, what part for you? I feel like with
Yeah,
your brain, the way you plan and everything, that it feels like that would be something you'd be really good at.
you would think, but I'm a nerd, so I'm like literally looking like, wow, how did they make this whole house shake? Or wow, I can't even see the neck of this dinosaur that's coming down. I like even like if I go to a Disney, I'm looking at
Mhm.
all the little details there. But yeah, like I mean, there's those attractions. I think it's I think just going for a walk from like let's say you start off on the landing,
Mhm.
just I mean that place had so much history. Like right when I turned 21, I went there 2 years later, an entertainment district was built and I got to see that place slowly go down. Same with like Wash Ave, but like now it's residential, but you can like walk down there. It's so beautiful. You go to the arch grounds, and then I think graffiti wall
Mhm.
is one of the most underrated attractions in the entire metro. Most people don't even know. And it's funny, like I'll see some people go to another city and they'll like, oh, I'm in Oakland, check this. And I was like, have you been in a graffiti wall in St. Louis? They're like, no, that's a thing. But like, was it Paint Lewis?
Mhm. Paint Lewis, yeah.
Paint Lewis, like literally, if you're listening, go ahead and add it to your calendar right now. You could add Paint Lewis, which is Labor Day weekend,
Mhm.
or you can go the weekend after when it's freshly painted.
Yeah.
It is super cool. Walls off Washington, very underrated.
Mhm.
I want to see that place activated more. That conversations because I think it's super cool. Like I've gone to Wynwood in Miami where they have
Yeah.
like figured it out. Markets, they activate the space. People look forward to it, and a lot of people here don't know about it.
Don't even know. Very
Um,
cool. Down there in Midtown, you
yes,
can see a ton of these really incredible murals that have been done all around there.
and I think like a lot of people listening probably have been to City Museum.
Mhm.
Well, go ahead and like walk down like Wash Ave and just look at the architecture. It's I don't even know like half the stuff I'm looking at, but I'm like, oh, that looks cool. Like I think that's awesome. And then I mean, we're just so fortunate to have so many parks. I know we talked about Forest Park, but I would
Mhm.
challenge people to go to a pocket of the park they never been to. Like
Yeah.
you'll see turkey, deers, maybe
We saw
a
some beaver the other day.
beaver. You may see a fox.
My
Um,
kids keep talking, like, "Can we go back and see that beaver again?" I'm like, "Sure.
when
Let's
you
go find the beaver."
when you see a beaver, do you instantly think of angry beavers?
No, I don't. But I
That's funny.
just saw Zootopia 2 with my
Okay.
kids, and so I think of the beaver in that movie.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's where they were thinking too, and so they keep talking about like, "Can we go see that beaver again in Forest Park?" I'm like, "Yes, let's
I don't know
go
if we're gonna
search
find
for the
it.
beaver."
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, Forest Park, it's funny because that same day that we were there, my kids and I just decided to pick just like a random little
Mhm.
pocket. There's so many places you can explore. I mean, people forget how much bigger Forest Park is than Central Park in New
And
York.
cleaner.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Okay. Amazing list of things to check out. Final question.
Okay.
What is a piece of food that you have eaten recently that just blew your mind
Oh my
in St.
gosh.
Louis?
Very recently, I mean, this is just so recent. Oh my goodness, what was this place? I went to the farmer's market. This is very recent. That's
Mhm.
why Friends, I think it's Friends with
Oh
You.
my God. It's incredible.
What is that? I
They're
have it on
called
my
like,
phone.
I don't know how you
I know,
pronounce
I
them
don't know how to
either.
say it. Yeah.
They're
It's
like Korean
HOTTE.
pancakes. Food with you is what it's called.
Yeah.
They're incredible. Did you go to the market last week for
Yeah,
the?
yeah.
Yeah, no,
And I didn't know what to expect. I just had that and I was like, oh wow, like
we're Googling it so that we can give you guys all the exact right information, but you can find them at the farmer's market and they are, oh God, how do you pronounce the actual word that they are? Yeah, it's food with you. I don't know. I can't pronounce it correctly, but they're Korean pancakes and they're amazing. Did you try the sweet one or the savory ones?
I did the sweet one. Like I have to try more now.
Mhm.
I was, I'm not going to say I was surprised, but because, like they had like 5 people. It was raining at that time. Everyone didn't have a line. So I was like, okay, they must be good.
Well, you're lucky because normally they have a huge line.
Yeah, that is.
And they're worth every minute of the wait.
And I think people, like, if you're listening, go to a farmer's market at 8 o'clock. Don't even try 9, 10. Well, actually, do try support those spots. I'm just getting a little older that, like, I'll get there early. But yeah, oh my God, that was so good. And then, in the last few days, I had a whole Nikki Slices. I had SEL Toasted has a collab right now with 4 hands of a pork steak, T-Rav. And so.
There's never a shortage of good things to eat.
Yeah, seriously. Like, and you know how hard that question is.
It is. It's really tough.
In recent memory, I think that's
those are some good things. And to try even more of the great food, Foodies Eat First Fest, May 2nd and 3rd.
Yes, May 2nd and 3rd. And then also add August 22nd and 23rd. Trust me, you don't want to miss either. I mean, it's going to be different food. We'll have some special guests, whether it's in the food realm or other realms. We got to have some surprises.
Okay. All right. A little tease, deep tease there, as we call it. Thanks so much, Braden. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And congratulations on everything.
Thank you.
I love to see it.
All right. Mark those calendars. And we've got a link to purchase your tickets to Foodies Eat First Festival in the description of this week's episode. Now let's dive into the events happening across St. Louis this week, April 13th through the 19th. You heard about the Brickline Greenway in the episode from the other week. Well, the grand opening is Monday, April 13th. Louis' Loot Night, that is one of the last theme nights for the St. Louis Blues this season, is Tuesday, April 14th. Paw Patrol Live is at Stiefel Theater this Saturday and Sunday, April 18th through 19th. The Missouri Book Festival in Washington, Missouri is April 18th. And St. Louis Mom Flourish event is Sunday, April 19th. As always, if you've got an event that you think should be included in our calendar, let us know. You can reach out to us on social media. Find us at What's New in the Lou on Facebook and on Instagram. And as always, thank you so much for listening.